Amy with AJ's Vintage Designs and Fashion Toppings here with another Trash to Treasure. Okay, I thrifted this picture today, and you know, canvases can be expensive if you go on the big side, you know. You can get usually small canvases pretty inexpensively at a lot of the hobby shops and the craft shops, but this is a big canvas. Look at the size of this. And I got it for $4.99. So I decided I'm working on a piece and I need a picture to put behind it for staging. So I am going to paint this. Yep, for $4.99. I'm gonna have a new painting for my wall. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I don't need to prime this since I'm using chalk-based paint. This is not a slippery surface, it's a canvas. So I'm gonna go ahead and put down my starting color, which I need this to be a white or slightly off-white. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to be blending birchwood and aged ivory, which is flea market decor paints. I'm going to just brush in and blend the white and then the creamy white together, so it's not such a stark white. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna bring the camera down so you can watch closely. Okay, the first color I'm gonna be using is called Aged Ivory, and it's a very like neutral white. It's just an off-white. It's got a little bit of a creamy consistency to it. And then I'll be adding in birchwood, flea market decor paint, and the birchwood you can see is just slightly off. So they're basically, you know, in the same color family, but I'm just going to, you know, take turns with each color, so it's not just one solid color. And I will show you. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to spoon out, just so I don't accidentally dip the wrong brush into the wrong container. I don't want to contaminate my paint. That is the Aged Ivory. And then next to it, I'm just gonna pour some, I'm just gonna put it right next to it in the same container. I'm gonna pour right next to it the birchwood. Okay, I will be using the Dixie Belle mini paintbrushes. Those are my favorites, so I'm gonna be using these two, this project. I will use water and I will mist my brushes just slightly, so they're a little bit damp, both of them. And I'm gonna start off with the Aged Ivory, which is the lighter color. Just going to brush it on. This is just gonna be my base color, and then I have an idea of what I'm gonna put on top of all of this to make it match the piece of furniture that I'm working on right now. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry for about 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back and put a second coat on it, just because I wanna blend out these stripes just a little bit better. And then I can see little areas where I can see the bright colors from the canvas, like right here, popping through. So I am gonna put a second coat on this, but we're gonna have some fun, because then as soon as I blend out these stripes, I want it to be a subtle transition between colors. And you can just do one solid color. This project will work no matter what you do. This is a canvas. It's meant to have fun with and play with colors. And it is 90 something degrees in my garage right now. I'm sweating again. But we're gonna be putting a really cool transfer on this, and the whole thing is going to match a piece of furniture that I'm working on. So I'm so excited. Let's let this dry. Be back in 20 minutes and we'll do the next step. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start the second coat. If you need to, you can mist your surface a little bit, just a little bit, so your paint moves a little easier. Since we're on the second coat. I don't want to see these big giant cactus leaves that were on it previously, or whatever kind of plant that was. So, 2 coats should be plenty. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry now. I think it's so cool. It's always fun to practice your blending and just play with color when you're working on a canvas you got for $4.99. But I'm gonna be adding some transfers on top of this, so I'm gonna make it even more special. So I'm gonna let this dry. You should always let your paint dry 24 hours before you put a transfer on it. We'll see how it feels, but yeah, this is gonna be cool. I'm excited. Okay, now I'm gonna be adding a transfer on. And if you don't know what a transfer is, Redesign with Prima has these transfers. And remember as a kid, you used to get those little fake tattoos that would go on your arm and you'd rub them with water and they'd come off and you'd have these really cool images like fake tattoos when we were kids. This is kind of similar, but what they are, they're images. They're on a sheet, like that. You can put them on furniture, on crafts, on lots of things. And so I'm gonna be putting this one on here, and all you do is rub. They come with a stick, and so you're just rubbing, putting it on. And another trick is, on the back of my canvas, I put cardboard so that I had a stiffer surface for doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you up. And we're gonna do the first one. What we do is we remove the plastic off the back. Now this is paint. I have no sealers on here, no waxes, nothing. Just the paint. Now I'm going to put this on. Okay. I'm gonna center it how I want it. I want that key to be on there. Okay, so it's gonna look like that. Okay, so now I am going to put my hand underneath here just to support it a little bit with that cardboard. And we use our little stick and we're gonna rub. We're gonna rub that image so it releases it from the plastic and it'll stick onto our canvas. Keeping my hand underneath because the canvas isn't, you know, there's not a lot of support when it comes to the canvas, so we don't want to ruin our canvas. So I'm keeping my hand underneath with that cardboard. And wherever I'm using my stick, gotta keep it straight. Wherever I'm using my stick, I have my hand underneath for support. Okay. Keeping my hand underneath just for support. You'll kind of see it turn a little cloudy, which is the image releasing itself from the plastic. Okay, let's check this out. So I rubbed it all, oops, and if you see a spot that didn't go, just lay it back down. Pay attention when you're peeling it up. There we go. And make sure all of your images have released from the plastic. Ah, this is gorgeous. Is that not cool? Look at that. Okay, so we're gonna add another, this whole thing is gonna be a giant transfer, and I'm not gonna make you sit there through all of it, but I'm gonna show you just how I connect them. Okay. Now the next one's gonna go right below it, and they attach seamlessly. Okay, trying to figure out the best view for you guys. It's probably sideways like this. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna line these up so that it's seamless. I don't want anybody to notice that There we go. So I got it on there, flatten it out. Slide my cardboard down farther that I have inside here. Now, what you want to do is just lay another piece of plastic right on top of here, because you don't want to accidentally, this is, you can't really see it, but this is where the plastic ends, and this is what I just did. I don't want to accidentally scratch this. So I'm going to put a piece of plastic over it just to protect it. Like I said, I moved my cardboard down that I have underneath here, and I just repeat the process, just keep going. I'm gonna keep working at this, and then I'll come back and show you the finished results. All I'm gonna do the rest of the way is just keep rubbing and pulling the image back until I have my entire image on this canvas. But I have to tell you, it's a lot of elbow grease, you know, as far as working it with your hands and your wrists, but it's well worth it. So I can't wait to show you when this is done. Okay, and the last sheet to line up. Yes, look at that. Okay, now you're gonna wanna make sure that everything's laying down flat. You have nothing loose. So kind of run your hand over it, make sure everything's down secure. Oh, it turned out gorgeous. Okay, do a quick look at it real quick. Making sure everything's down smooth. If it's not, rub it down with your finger. Ah, is that not amazing? Love it. Okay. Well, you didn't think I was gonna stop here, did you? That'd be too easy. Okay, I'm gonna add little pops of color here and there. I'm gonna keep it primarily black and white, but like maybe the bumblebee, I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow to. Maybe one of the flowers I might add a little red to, and then leave the rest black and white, just for some pops of color. So I'm gonna use Golden Years by Flea Market Decor. It's manufactured by Dixie Belle. I'm just gonna work out of my lid. I am using a little craft brush with a sharp corner. Just got it a little bit wet because I don't want my paint to be too dark to hide the details. And I'm gonna zoom you in. Okay, so you can see the little bee right here. My brush is slightly damp because I don't want my paint to be too dark. And I'm just going to add a little yellow on here. If it gets to be too dark, kind of wipe it with my fingers. There you go, just a little pop of color. And I'm just kind of, wherever it's getting on the black a little bit, then I will rub that off. Barely any paint, because I don't want to hide the details underneath. So as you can see, just a little bit of yellow. Okay. So I got a little bit of yellow on there. There's a little surprise pop of color. And let me see here. I don't want too much yellow. I don't want too much on here. So as far as color, I want it to be a surprise, like one pop. Not sure if I just want to do just the bee or if I want to do some flowers too. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of red. This is Reclaimed Barn. I'm just gonna add some red on here, but I'm gonna wet my brush because I don't want it very dark. I just want it very light. So I'm gonna use the spritzer and I'm gonna spritz my brush. Working out of the lid. Just dabbing it very slightly. And okay, isn't that pretty? Well, I'm gonna spritz my little brush again so that the red, I can re-dip in the red without having too much paint. I need to insert this little tip. When you get done putting your transfer on, you're gonna wanna put, I'm just brushing on a clear coat. This is Dixie Belle's clear coat in satin. You need to put a clear coat on top of your transfer to lock that transfer onto your canvas. And you can look at it at an angle to make sure that you're completely covering your transfer, not missing any sections. After doing this, I realized a better way to paint your, you know, I did these 2 pops of color. Next time, I'm gonna wait until after. I'll do this top coat and then I'll let that dry and then I would have painted if I wanted to add any color on. I think that's just, it's easier so that, because when I was painting this flower here, I'd be very gentle so I didn't peel up the transfer with my paintbrush when I was painting. Now it worked without sealing it. I was able to paint it without sealing it first, but if I was to do it over again, I think what I would do is seal it first and then add my pops of color after I've sealed it. But you always seal after you put your transfer on, not before. And this locks in all the edges of that transfer so they're not going to come up on you. And I am using Dixie Belle's top coat. It's a clear coat in satin. It's a water-based top coat. Just making sure I'm getting everywhere, I'm not missing anywhere. I'm using just a regular Dixie Belle's mini paintbrush. That's what I use for my furniture. And there we go. So I just wanted to add this tip on real quick. I know I already put the color on here, but like I said, if I were to have it to do all over again, I would have sealed it first and then painted my color, because I wouldn't have had to been so gentle with my paintbrush because all my edges would have been sealed. Okay, and at the end, I'm gonna insert a picture. I just finished a desk in a beautiful yellow. It's Flea Market Decor Golden Years yellow. And I did some highlight blending, but I added the same transfer onto the front of the desk that I just did, and it turned out beautiful. And so I'll put pictures at the end also of this transfer on a piece of furniture. Prima, or Redesign with Prima, makes it easy to be artistic without having to have the artistic skills. That's what I love about it. You don't have to be an artist to create art. Okay, well, this is Amy with AJ's Vintage Designs and Fashion Toppings with another Trash to Treasure. Until next time, I hope you have a great day. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the description box down below. I will have a list of all the products and where you can get them, because I am a brand ambassador for Dixie Belle and also Redesign with Prima. But I will have links down below where you can find all these products and all the products that were used. Okay, once again, Amy with AJ's Vintage Designs and Fashion Toppings. Until next time, I hope you have a great day.